This week's I'm going to be starting to talk about getting your baby from NICU to home. Now, one thing that we're not planning on for our children, especially our babies, is to be in the NICU, the neonatal intensive care unit, meaning the child has suffered some sort of brain trauma, birth trauma, respiratory, something that put the child in critical condition, and they're being moved into the NICU for observation. One of the things that happens to your baby in the NICU, and this is an infant skull, and as you can see, there's lots of fine little bones here, right, going into your child. Well, these bones get, or the movement of the bones might get interrupted due to intubation, right? Intubation, they will bring the baby's head back quite severely, open the mouth to create a straight line with the esophagus, open the mouth, and put down a tubing to help your child breathe, right? And then the tubing is taped around the soft tissue on the inner maxillaries, and again, for intubation. Intubation is removed, and then they go to what could be possibly cannulation, right? Where there's oxygen support put through the nasal, goes around the ear, into the cinches with the hyoid bone underneath here. There could be headline IVs, lots of things. NG tubes, nasal gastric tubes to feed your child can come down and around into this tubing. And again, look at the fine bones there, right? My son had RSV at 3 weeks, and he had to have nasal suctioning done. They didn't realize he had a deviated septum, the bleeding, and all of that kind of stuff until they realized they really had to use a finer tubing to get into this nasal canal. There's lots of things that can happen in the NICU setting. Phototherapies as well, where your child is under for jaundice, light therapy, and they will put something across the eyes to protect the eyes, because the eyes aren't meant to work, especially in prematurity. Just because your child has been in the NICU doesn't mean it was a premature birth. Right? It could be, or there could be little or no birth trauma per se, but because a child's tone, low tone or high tone, is affecting their life support systems, and they have to be in. It could be an infection, it could be cancer, and it could be so many things that people just don't even think about that can happen to your baby. They could have had a stroke in utero. Right? And I'm not here to scare you, but you're in a situation now. If you don't know what a NICU is, you bypass that area of your life. But at the same time too, a mother's just given birth. Maybe her birth was a surgical birth, so she's in care. Hormones are flaring. You might not be able to, let's say, nurse or breastfeed your child, because, we've had situations too where you're giving birth in a local hospital. They're airlifting the child. They're now at a children's hospital. Mom's over here. There's a lot of things that can be happening during your life. It is very chaotic. You didn't plan for it, and you're trying to get everything together. Well, with that, I have a Nicu-to-Home Checklist, which is free, how to start thinking about things, right? It doesn't cover everything, but it's how to help you to cover things, like, what do I have to see? What doctors am I seeing? What do I have to get ready for home? What do I need to start getting into place? Also, I have a free course just on getting NICU to home and understanding that, and even my course on breathing is free, because I really thought, because pediatrics, that the respiratory with COVID was going to be so rampant, and thank goodness it wasn't. But there's so many things that are there to offer you that are free, because you shouldn't be going through this. You being successful as a parent is your number one priority. Then from there, right, we need to again get the family on board, get everybody ready to bring that baby home. You might be new to bringing your NICU baby home, or it might be 2 years old, and you had these experiences. It doesn't mean you can't go back and make sure the foundations of movements are there to help your child today. So go to the website. After I'm done with this, I'll post the link up, but it's movementlesson.academy. Just click on how to help your baby, go right into NICU to home, and it'll bring you to the page, and you can sign up for whatever you need to help your child today. If you feel that someone needs this post, please share it, right? There's a lot of babies, 11,000 babies in the U.S. are born every day, and we have the highest rate of NICU time. So whatever we can do to help our babies, it needs to be shared. Thanks, guys.